So, along with the help of our medical professionals and scholars, our faith has an answer for this. You mentioned some of the early companions of the Prophet ﷺ, and he himself would pray taraweeh in their homes. I think now would be a great time to go back and visit these moments in their lives. And we know the benefits of praying in congregation. When we pray as a collective, we encourage one another. We have this feeling of unity. Now, on the topic of Salah, I know you taught a course called Meaningful Prayer a while back. It was about the vocabulary and linguistic beauty of Salah. How can Muslims feel the sweetness of prayer and retain the drive in mandatory and optional prayers like Taraweeh in their homes during this pandemic?
Absolutely. So, like I was saying before, and you highlighted it, there are two components to this whole scenario, right? The technical, which we kind of talked about, and then the spiritual. And like you said about the spiritual component, we are limited to our homes. We're not able to congregate. And like you said, a lot of times you feed off the collective energy. There's somebody leading the prayer who is a lot more well-versed in the prayer than maybe I might be. And I'm able to also kind of feed off of that person's energy. And now all of a sudden we're kind of like limited and regulated to our home. So like you said, how do we go about in making that meaningful, making the ritual spiritual, making what can be mundane very, very meaningful? How do we go about in doing that? And you referenced a class and a course that I taught in over 100 communities across the country a decade ago. It was called Meaningful Prayer. And the idea was exactly that. And one of the key things I realized, and it's not rocket science, it's very obvious, but one of the key things I recognized, and I would always give this analogy and example. If somebody's listening to this conversation right now, we've been talking for quite a bit of time, and they're still listening. And if you're still listening, even though we've been talking for a while now, the main reason why you're still listening is because you understand what we're saying. So you're able to follow the conversation and engage with it and, stay connected to it. But imagine if we were talking in a language you did not understand. If we were talking in Arabic and you don't understand, we were talking in Farsi, in Persian, and you don't understand Farsi. I mean, how long could you listen to that?
Not very long.
Not very long at all. And you'd be checked out right away. So think about our prayers now and how we have so much trouble staying focused. A big part of it is because I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just reading something off of a sheet, except I ended up memorizing that sheet. So now I'm just reading it off the sheet in my head. But I don't actually know what I'm talking about. But the moment we start to understand how powerful it is what we're saying and how we're directly conversing with God, with Allah, it's a game changer. It absolutely changes the experience. So that's one of the spiritual recommendations I would give to people is this is the ideal time to go to that list, that to-do list, that checklist that we've all had, that bucket list, whatever you want to call it. That list that we've all had for a very long time where I want to read the translation of the Quran. I want to learn the meaning of these surahs. I want to start to understand what I'm actually saying in my prayers. And it's very, very easy and it's very doable. Somebody might say, well, that's ridiculous. What do you mean it's easy? It's super difficult. And how dare you say it's easy, right? I can only say that it's easy because Allah said it's easy. وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ. Allah said, we facilitated it for the purpose of remembrance. Or is there any of you that will actually remember?